It's clear and evident, and it has been for a while, that one of the group members, hasn't been present, doesn't perform with you guys, which to me, I never really understood, why he kind of disappeared and faded off into the background. And a couple of my viewers wanted me to ask you this, like, why doesn't he perform with you guys anymore?
Because physically he can't.
Oh, physically?
Yeah.
So it's a health thing.
It's a health thing.
Okay.
It's a health thing. And I've mentioned this multiple times, whether it's on my page or other people's platforms. Like, and this I will say, I do regret some of our personal stuff spilling out into the public.
Sure.
Okay.
We come from an era where we don't do Twitter beefs.
No.
Like,
nothing makes it to the public.
I'm a grown man. You got a problem with me, you call me.
Yeah.
The family problem stays with the family.
You got a problem with me, you call me.
Right.
You got a problem with me, we'll go somewhere, we'll meet somewhere, and we'll hash it out, whatever. That's where I come from.
Yeah, also.
So yeah, exactly. So unfortunately, a lot of the stuff that once something goes out into the public, then it's open to public opinion, and then everybody has their spin or their opinion or their take on what's going on.
Right.
I will say that everything wasn't always good with us and Mike, which led him to leave.
Okay.
So it just so happened that coincidentally, from a physical standpoint, he wasn't capable of doing the stuff that we're doing right now anyway. He has MS, and which developed later. But he had scoliosis as well, which is an irregular curvature in your spine, which he battled.
Combined with the MS.
Yeah. And even when he was in the group, and this is what people tend to...
That's why he had the cane?
Well, no. The cane was just a gimmick at first.
Okay, that was just part of the shtick.
But then it just became something where he needed it after a while, which is
eventually,
which is very ominous. Like, it's weird. But you know, but my point is even when he was having those back issues, we kept it from the public. But I'm sure people who might have seen us perform, like back in 98 or 99 or whatever, you would see the three of us busting dance moves, and you would see him on a stool.
Mm-hmm.
We still try to accommodate him as much as possible, but that's what people don't acknowledge.
They don't talk about that.
They miss that.
Of course.
But and that's well documented. And it just got to a point where we just couldn't take it anymore because it started to affect our business.
Yeah.
So he left, and even though he's a lot better now than what he was years ago, because he's taking treatments and he's getting treatments and all the other stuff, physically, the moves that we make, the traveling, the tour, like, he just wouldn't
be
able to.
He can't keep up with the schedule.
He wouldn't be able to keep up. It has nothing to do with anything personal. Like, we just saw Mike at our show in Vegas.
So there's no animosity?
No.
You guys are not beefing?
Not at all.
No beef exists
at all? You said
now,
that you saw each other and you talk.
100%. Now, was it always like that? No. But that's our business.
Right.
That's
and
brothers.
Families go through things.
Families go through shit.
Listen, me and my brother talk about this all the time. Particularly, sometimes we don't get along, but when we get on set, it's all love.
Right.
But prior to us making it to the set, sometimes there are major disagreements, man.
And guess what? You even get over those after a while. You chop it up.
Sure.
Y'all have some Italian. Y'all drink some good wine, and all is forgiven.
All is forgiven.
And you keep it moving. And we had to go through that process with Mike. Yes, we had a period of non-communication, separation, and things of that nature, but we brought it back together. Because at the end of the day, no matter what people say, and no matter what opinions people might have, that's still gonna be our brother, whether we agree or disagree. Right. But we still family. And you can ask Mike that. So my thing is that we had a bad moment. And some of it played out in public, which sucks, because I don't like that.
But all that's behind you.
But it's behind us. We good. But from a physical standpoint,
that's amazing.
Mike just can't keep up with the pace, with the scheduling. And that's why. That's why he's not in the group, guys. Not because...
And no matter what, he's still going down in history with the rest of you guys.
100%. We wouldn't be Boys to Men without Mike. And that's real.
So, as we moved up and as we became more successful or I became more successful, and one thing I realized is that kids need to understand the value of a dollar. So the rule in my house, like Shaq said, I have money.
Which is hard nowadays, man, because
It's very hard. When you're growing up poor and then you get a little bit of money and you have your own children, you want to give them what you didn't have. But luckily I have a good woman by my side that we set a rule. You're 15, you're getting a job.
we're living in different times because when we were children, just the things that I asked for, I didn't ask for a MacBook for Christmas. Can I have a MacBook? It's a $1,500 gift. Dad,
We
can
asked
I
for
ha-
sneakers.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
If I got a pair of sneakers,
We were happy.
exactly. Maybe a cartridge for my Atari. These kids today now, the things that they have access to, not only from a technology standpoint, because technology opens them up to the world, right? So they're seeing everything. They have access to things that we didn't have access to. But then just the basic cost of things that they're interested in having for themselves, it's just different. So it's like, how do you as a dad, right? You have resources. You can give your kids whatever you want. How do you say no? I'm not giving you that, or I'm not buying you this for Christmas.
You learn because you learn what the benefits are. And the benefits of my kids having to get a job at the age of 15, my son is a perfect example of that. Here's a kid that at 14 and a half, we started the conversation when he was thinking about going working at an ice cream shop, typical kid job, right? And then he goes, you know what, Dad, what I really want to do is run my own business. I said, all right, well, I got an idea for you. I said, my business started from eBay. Mom's got some extra purses out there, some shoes she doesn't wear anymore. Throw them up on eBay. We'll split it 50-50. We threw a couple of things up, made a few $100. Then he comes, he's like, well, I don't want to do this. I'm like, why? What's up? He's like, well, this isn't a business. I said, you're giving me stuff that you guys already paid for. I'm listing them on eBay. It's selling. I'm keeping half the profit. I didn't buy that. I didn't put any money into that. That's not a business, right? I said, what do you want to do? He's like, he was into sneaker culture big. He goes, I want to sell sneakers. I said, all right. Took $2,000 that he had. And I told him, I said, look, if you're going to do that, I said, I'm going to need a inventory sheet. I'm going to need a balance and loss statement, profit and loss statement, a balance sheet. I need you to keep track of monies and things of that nature. He's like, huh? He's 14 and a half. So I showed him, put it all in Excel for him, just broke it all down for him. He's like, well, why do I need all this? So you'll thank me in a year. The year goes by, that $2,000. I said, give me a balance sheet. Like, my balance sheet shows $24,000. I said, that's how much equity your business grew in a year. It's a good job, son. The following year was 127. And the year he was graduating high school, he did $1 million in business. And came the question, do I go to college or not? Obviously, right? Because the kid made $250,000 his high school year. When he applied to colleges, he didn't put in essays. He submitted his tax returns, which is another conversation. When first year in his business, when he registered his business, said, well, there's this thing called taxes. He's like, what's that? I'm like, you gotta give the man 35% of what you made.
You'll find out
He said,
soon
what?
enough. Yeah.
He was livid. I said, hey, welcome to the real world, right? Fast forward, he goes to Miami, he goes to the University of Miami, he opens up one store location, another store location, third store location. And now he's got a real business on his hand, and he's got an actual plan to create a product. The goal is to grow it to X amount of stores. His role model is Ronnie Fig, Kith, and he wants to be like him. That's his role model in the industry. And he's doing what he needs to do. He's building a brand name. He's got his own media team, social media, YouTube, and things of that nature. And he's doing well for himself. So I feel like if I brought my son in to my business, I would be putting him down.
You'd kill his passion.
I think I'd be killing his passion, killing his motivation, and killing what's probably the most satisfying thing in the world. And that's the fact that, hey, look what I did by working hard and doing what I did. Look how far I've gotten to and where I'm going to be at. You don't want to kill that dream ever.
No.
Jacob, Benjamin, his son, who's now the CEO of Jacob & Co. He was a coffee boy when he was a kid at the company. Then he left for 10 years. He did his own thing. Successful marketing company. Sold that company. And only then he came back to the company as a now experienced badass to run Jacob & Co. That's why their marketing game has been so much better since he took over, because he went out there, got that experience. Is there a world where my son may sell off his sneaker business and say, you know what, Dad, I'm going to come take some of my skill set and apply it to your industry. I'm going to come in and take over, give you a fresh outlook on things? Perhaps. Believe me, I'd be more than happy to. But that's not something I'd ever make him do.
In terms of the business, right?
Loving this, by the way. This is a cheers. In terms of podcasts, this is all right here.
as far as like looking at social media and what you all think success is, you know what I'm saying? It's a form of entertainment because for social media, it's just analogs. It's not, it's numbers. It's not what you say. It's not what you see. It's the numbers. And the numbers pay somebody. If you're doing
The
it
algorithm
yourself,
is paying
the
someone.
algorithm
The
paying
algorithm
somebody.
is always
If it's-
going. Me and Eric talk about the algorithm. We study our numbers
Yeah.
and we see where me and him are doing well and when we're not doing well and
Exactly.
who's watching. I can tell you how many females are tapping in.
Exactly.
I can tell you at what time we're getting the most views. I can tell you what states, what region, what times of the day. So it's the algorithm, like you said, is always working. It's always paying somebody.
Yes.
You gotta try
You
to
gotta-
manipulate it so that
to
it
where
pays you.
That's
what it
that's
is.
the whole nature of the name.
Have you always been financial literate, or it took you some time to get there?
No, it took me some time to get there. So I would say this, like, at 12 and 13, I had my little thing where I would just put all the stuff that I want on my board. And I was like, I
vision
want
board.
this. It's a vision board. I want this type of house. I want this or whatever. And I was like, okay, I'm from Cleveland Avenue, from this hood, and I'm trying to figure out how in the hell I'm going to get this.
From here to there.
Here to there. So I used to go to the library because in my mind at the time, I felt like, this was before I got the deal or anything like that, I felt like I was never going to leave the community. So the only way I could escape was through books. So I would go to the library and read about all of these places and about other people. And then watch The Lifestyle of the Rich and Famous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and I used to sit there and I used to watch like Dynasty and Dallas and Falcon Crest.
Us too.
You know what I'm saying? And I wanted, and then you start going, and then all of a sudden you start seeing The Cosby Show. Like, wow. So how is this family able to do this? And why am I not like this? Why are my families like that? And then I start researching and figuring out, and I start asking my parents, especially my mom, questions. And then once people start being candid, I started fixing myself. So you're going to go through your ups and downs. It's like anything, no risk, no reward. Investments, you're going to take some falls, but that's okay. Because I didn't take that investment to just fall and then that's it. I gotta keep it moving. I gotta keep it moving.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
My
And then
brother
get there.
Eric and I discuss this all the time.
Mhm.
You are either trying to win or you are in a space where you're going to continue to fail.
Exactly.
And every loss brings you closer to a win. There's a learning experience in every loss. Look at everything that you've done that has not been successful as something that you can analyze, and you can take what was successful from that particular situation and apply those things that worked there to the next situation that you're trying to work on.
Yes.
He's always saying you got to continuously keep what, Eric?
Reinventing
yourself.
ourselves.
Because if we
Exactly.
don't, what? Because if we don't reinvent ourselves, then we're what? We're stagnant.
You're stagnant.
And if
that's-
you run from the work, you better hide from the money.
I'm telling you.
If you run from this work, because what you doing is work, bro. You hit
Yes.
21 cities.
Yes.
You about to, come on, man. You about to perform tomorrow on Tamron Hall. Then you shooting in Texas. You doing Houston. Then you
Yeah.
back on a jet. You back to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Then it's get some new clothes. Back on the road. You back
I'm
out to
telling you.
perform again. If you run from that work, hide from the money.
Exactly.
I can't tell you how many shows we've shot and put in the can in the past couple of days. You know why, Slim? Because I don't have time to play. You see how diligent I am about reaching out to you,
Yes.
and staying in
And
communication
I love that.
with you, right?
I love that. And you know what? It's just a true testament for anybody who's watching this. So if you're thinking, like, you're watching this podcast, you're saying, hey, the Gato podcast, oh my goodness, how could I get here? Now you're hearing it straightforward, and you're hearing it for somebody like us. We're considered old heads now, but you know what I'm
Old
saying?
heads.
But it's just like the knowledge you're getting from this right here is just like, okay, so I see these brothers' path. A lot of grew up with me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all grew up with me. I was a teenager when I first started. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
Absolutely.
here now.
Decades
and
in
I'm
the
in
business.
a better position I am now than I was at the highest part of my situation, only because I knew that there was going to be ups and downs, you know what I'm saying? But I embraced whatever happened. I would never change anything over again.